Good morning, guys. This is Keto Dicky. A bright and early Sunday morning. I did roll out of bed today, my one day off at 6 o'clock, if you can believe that. But that's because I had an 8:05 reservation at Steakhouse 71 at Disney's Contemporary Resort. Why, you ask? Well, because even this tired guy wants to know, can I keto? I would hope I can keto at a steakhouse. If I can't, then all hope is lost, folks. All hope is lost. So anyway, I did head over here first thing. I decided to do Disney parking, which was awesome. Like I did the ticket and transportation center. I waffled between pulling into the Contemporary parking and driving to Disney Transportation Center afterwards, but I was so early I did just go ahead and park at the Magic Kingdom Ticket and Transportation Center, which is wonderful because I was so very close to the entrance and security gate, so that was awesome. And then I just took the monorail over to the Contemporary. Now, we did have stops at the Grand Floridian and the Polynesian, then the Magic Kingdom, then on to the Contemporary, but that's fine. I don't think I've ever gotten off the monorail at the Contemporary. I have taken the monorail to all the different destinations, but I don't think I've ever gotten off, so it was very exciting to get off at the Contemporary. It was also, if you don't know, like you get right onto an escalator down to the third floor, which is where you will find the Chef Mickey's. Then to get to Steakhouse 71, you'll take 2 more escalators or stairs down to the first floor. Now, if you're not familiar with Steakhouse 71, I think this was formerly the Wave, and they just redid it. I believe it was the Wave, I'm almost sure. But anyway, they did redo the restaurant, close down and renovate the restaurant, and open it back up as Steakhouse 71. So I have already ordered. I'm getting the steak and eggs this morning. They do come with potatoes, so no potatoes. Checked on the béarnaise sauce, and that is tarragon, white wine, tarragon reduction. But no sugars, no thickeners, so that sounded really good and doable. So very excited for that. There wasn't really anything good to substitute for the egg or for the potatoes. Their fruit options were like pineapple, melon heavy, so passed up on that. Got the coffee, waiting on my steak and eggs. I absolutely love this mural behind me. I mean, this one I could tell, like I've got the castle, you can't see it, I'm blocking it, but there's the castle on this one. I love the colors. The other one I'm trying to figure out if it's Tomorrowland. I can't quite be sure, but I feel like I see part of it. I feel like I see the Astro Orbiter. I definitely see the monorail, and then I kind of think I see Space Mountain, but I'm not sure. But I think that's Tomorrowland. But also the pattern at the bottom kind of made me think Epcot. And Epcot would have the monorail going through it, so I don't know. But anyway, I love that art on the walls. I'm not much on abstract art generally, but I do think that is quite lovely. So. Further update, my server did just come out and asked me if I could do green apples. I'm assuming I'm not eating a whole apple, so I decided I could do that, and that's minimal. I mean, I wouldn't normally eat an apple, but every once in a while, chop up in a salad, or maybe just a few slices. I don't think that's going to really be too bad on my sugar. I did have a kid tell me he loved my blue hair this morning. Shouted it across the restaurant. I love you. even when you're at these higher end resorts or expensive restaurants at Disney, there are still kids screaming. I worry about, well, I don't know why I worry. It's not my kids, but I don't want to see kids being forced into being stuffy just because more money is being spent or they're wealthier. I love the fact that these kids are still just kids. I also totally want their stuffed animals. They had like Queen Minnie and Mickey and one of those, what are the British guards with the Buckingham Palace guards with the big hats. I totally want those stuffed animals. I feel like they're at the United Kingdom at Epcot, but I've never seen them here. Seems like that's where I should find those stuffed animals, so I'll have to pay attention. I'm at Epcot all day tomorrow, and I imagine it's going to be packed for Memorial Day, so I will probably just be meandering about and not trying to get into too many lines other than Cosmic Rewinds, so I think I will definitely be on the hunt for those two stuffed animals. This place has like a lot of photography and art, and I think that some of it is just so stunning. I feel like I'm looking at Cinderella getting a makeup touch-up over there. I can't be sure. And then I see some beautiful pieces of art right, I think, in a lounge area. So I'm going to have to walk around and get a little bit more of that. When you get steak, I know, like, we lose the steak sauce on keto. So sometimes your steak can be rather disappointing. I forgot to actually try this steak without anything. But I did go ahead because I just ended up slathering on the béarnaise sauce like right away. But it was flavorful. With that, I am very grateful that there is something served with your steak since I can't have a steak sauce. If you watch these while I'm eating, these eggs were ordered over easy, and they were over easy. That was very good. You can see that nice, beautiful run of the egg when I cut into it. It made me so happy. Now, I will say the table next to me was, I don't know why I find them hilarious, but I will say the table next to me just made my day or amused me greatly. I don't know if it made my day, but the man had pretty much like his dark brown hair color, but pretty much a different version of my haircut. So his actually didn't do a fade on the sides. It was just a wide mohawk. And then his wife was very insistent that there be absolutely no run in her fried eggs. She did not want them over easy. And she was like, that needs to be solid. She was like, I want them fried hard. So It was like the the upside down world of my day. My haircut and my eggs just done completely differently. So I did get the steak and eggs. Now, you'll remember a couple of weeks ago me having breakfast at the Rainforest Cafe, steak and eggs there. There was a notable difference in portion size of this steak. But it did list on the menu it's a 4-ounce filet mignon, so a nicer cut of steak, but a much smaller portion. I had ordered it medium well, and since it was a steakhouse, specifically a steakhouse, when she asked me how I wanted it cooked, I just told her I wanted no pink, whatever way that needs to be ordered for the chef. And so she said medium well, close to well, and I was like, okay. Because medium well was technically supposed to be just past me, but not everyone manages that. When it came out, there was still a touch of pink. When she came by and checked in on me, she's like, is that too pink? Do you want me to take that back? I was very grateful for that, because it does come arrived sliced, and you can see all the way through it. It was cooked enough that I was okay with it, but it did not come out completely brown, but she called it when she got there, and I love that because I'm not great about sending my food back if it's wrong. So if a waitress calls it, or a server calls it, I am so grateful. Now that filet was very tender, Uh, with the béarnaise sauce, it was very flavorful. The eggs were delicious. I did not actually end up seasoning any of that beyond what it came with, so I was very happy with the taste of the food. Again, the portion size was a little small. We had discussed that there wasn't any really good options for substitutions for the breakfast potatoes. There were supposed to be potatoes on this, but then she did come back out and check to see if I could have green apples. I figured it would just be a few slices, not a whole apple, so it should be okay. And if you see, it came out, there were 3 apple slices, so not a huge portion, but again, it's a nicer restaurant. The portion sizes were small, but the price was compatible with that steak and eggs that I had at the Rainforest Cafe a few weeks ago. So it's very funny, same price, much smaller portion, but again, filet mignon. Versus, I don't even know if maybe it was sirloin that I had at the other one. I don't even know if it identified. And it does tell you on there that it's a 4-ounce serving, so you know before going in. 4 ounces is normally my protein size anyway when I eat a meal, if I'm on my diet and watching my calories, so that's very good. So this would even be good on my calorie counting if I were, fully calorie counting like I'm supposed to. And I'm grateful for that, so that's something also to keep in mind if you're at this restaurant. So I love the murals in this restaurant. There's some artwork, and then also a lot of photography kind of the like work in progress of Disney. I don't know if it's just the building of Disney, but it does harken to 1971 in the opening, so I'm assuming it was a lot of work being done on building Disney itself, the Magic Kingdom. There were some pictures. I felt a little awkward going in between the back where they're getting the food from and the restaurant, but there were 2 very interesting pictures. I think one of makeup artist touching up Cinderella, and then the other may have been a Tigger head being worked on. I don't necessarily know if I like those photos if I'm going to bring my kids to that restaurant, but they are kind of towards the back and where you're heading to the kitchens, so it's not clearly visible to everyone, but I'm a little torn on those. As far as the theming of this restaurant goes, it is an elegant, if you will, steakhouse. Not very kid designed or kid friendly. There were plenty of kids having their breakfast there, screaming. Some kid just shouted across the restaurant, "I love your blue hair." I was like, "Thank you. Where are you going?" Then they had me screaming back at the kids, so I was like, "Oh, I need to stop that." There's a lot of the construction of Disney black and white photos. There's some very colorful murals and artwork in there, but there's no really kid Disney thing going on here. It's much more elevated than that. So it's a nice restaurant. If you're keto, it's a nice food restaurant. I can't wait to eat some lunch and dinner here. But as far as bringing your kids, I think it's more for you than the kids on this restaurant. But it is very keto friendly. Probably there was also an omelet option. There were a couple other options that were available, so plenty of options for keto as far as what's on the menu. Not a lot of substitutions available, but if you had gotten that omelet, I don't know if the omelet came with breakfast potatoes or not, but if you got the omelet, then you could definitely, that was, I think, pretty keto friendly. The steak and eggs were keto friendly. There was another steak and sausage, again with breakfast potatoes, that you would have to substitute out. But you did have several options there for breakfast. Mine was $21, and the coffee was, I think, $3.95. And then there was a pass holder discount that could be applied to that. So really, we're still at that same price point as the Rainforest Steakhouse or the Rainforest Cafe. As far as taste went, it was good. Like I said, I did season. Alright, so I guess that is really about everything. It is keto friendly. I don't think it's necessarily a destination you have to hit up for your kids. But if you want a keto meal and you're staying here, or if you want a nice breakfast of adults, it's a nice place to go. A little bit more reserved than some of your options. And it is right on the monorail route with Disney, or with the Magic Kingdom. Now, I did have to go through all the restaurants to get here, but once I get on that monorail, I'm going right to the Magic Kingdom. So, there's no way to get to one or not all of them at once. If you are enjoying this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up. Subscribe so you never miss a keto restaurant review of the parks. And until next time, I'll see you down the road.